Hi everybody, this is Srimati. I run a fitness center called Phoenix Fitness Studio in Samtham for the past 7 years. I've been a member of WEI for almost 2 years now. It's been a great journey with WEI. Now coming to fitness studio, being a woman, can we run a fitness studio? You have an example in me. I have been running a fitness studio very successfully. Without my husband's support, this wouldn't have been possible. He's been a great support and great inspiration for me to get into the fitness industry. Why don't you?
And I would like to say this. Just because someone is there for you for support doesn't mean you'll be successful at something. There have been a lot of cases in which people have had support but still couldn't make it. For you to be successful, first you need to have a passion which you might not realize. But what I found was she did have a passion for all this which she herself hadn't realized it. That was the first thing. And second thing, she started off because I was into the field and all that, but she was a good observer and she was good at learning. She decided that when we want to start something, how do you qualify yourself? And that was the journey which she started, and that is what has helped her. And now if she's successful, that's purely because she had a commitment and she did the homework. And now she'll tell you like what it takes to open a gym in today's scenario.
Well, fitness studio, all men industry. The word gym, when we talk about gym, when you hear about the word gym, it's a male chauvinist industry. Don't you get that feeling? No, it is not at all. In my gym, it's a unisex gym and I have more men coming in. I do have a considerable number of women coming in as well. But it's a it's a proper unisex gym. Now to start a gym, first and foremost, you need money, of course. Even without money, you can start a gym. But all you need is interest in the field and some knowledge. Now once you decide that you need to start a business, fitness is the in thing today. It's the trendy business today. So in case you need to start, you decide to start a fitness studio, you decide to start a gym, budget you can work on. There's a wide range of budgeting where you can work on that. But before everything, the first and foremost thing is the interest and the passion. Okay, passion is also secondary. You need an interest in the industry because you need to educate yourself. A basic education of what gym is all about is very important. So what do you think the next thing is?
You were saying that, and I thought you would actually give a checklist or something like that so that people can, if at all someone wants to start, they'll have an idea, okay, this, I got to do this, I'll do this, and this is what I'm doing. We have a checklist kind of thing which people have to actually make before starting a business.
Now coming to the checklist, even before we jump on to the money part of it, first you need to identify your area, the locality where you will set up the gym. So once you identify the locality, then you need to look for the players there in that locality, like existing, what kind of gyms are there, big time, small players. So you need to identify overall the players already there and their case history if possible. And third thing, you need to find out who are your target clients, like whom are you planning to target in that area. So these three, once you identify, then we can move on to the budgeting part.
So looks like plan should be big. And how profitable do you think such a business will be? Because it looks like there's going to be a lot of investment.
Now any business is profitable. We can make it a profitable business provided you do the math, you do the calculation properly. You need a proper planning. Even before you pump in a single penny, please do the calculation properly, do the planning very properly, and we will talk about all this in the budgeting. But a proper planning will definitely give you a good profit, especially in the fitness industry, because it's a booming industry in today's scenario. So you can make your business a very profitable one.
So you mean to say do your homework?
Of course, homework is the key.
Okay. So now that you have said that, okay, for a change, Is there a way a person can start a gym without any money in hand?
Of course, why not? We have the Mudra scheme, government's Mudra scheme. There are a lot of banks, especially for women entrepreneurs, there are a lot of banks who are coming up in giving you a loan. You need to do a project report. There are people again who do project report. Is not just you sitting down and writing. Consult an auditor. They do a pakka with breakup. They do a proper project report. So once your project report is ready, you can approach the bank. You can approach the Canara Bank. I think Canara Bank is doing the Mudra loans. So there are people who assist you in funding also. So with zero cash in hand, also you can start a fitness studio. Now, having said all that, let me talk about the business plan as well. My experience, I'm talking from my experience, I was running a smaller gym before Phoenix. It was a small time gym. We started we rented a house and we started a hardcore gym there. That was running for 6 years and then 7 years now we are into this. So totally 13 years of my experience in the fitness industry. Till today, I haven't, me or my husband for that matter, we haven't seen what our competitors are like. I won't say we haven't seen. We don't imitate them or we don't emulate what our competitors do. See, if my competitor is going to give a 9,000 annual fee, immediately we don't come and change our tariff according to that. You need to work upon your strength. That is what we have been doing. Right from day one, you need to identify what is your strength and you need to focus on your strength and on your branding. So we have been educators, we know, we talk science, we are certified trainers, we are qualified trainers, and my husband conducts seminars across the state. He is trained almost close to 500 trainers. So that's our strength. So as the name Phoenix says, we have rose from the ashes. We have been working hard to popularize the brand Phoenix. So again, you need to identify whether you want to popularize your brand or whether you want to popularize yourself. So that you need to decide, and you need to work on that from day one or even from day minus, I would say. The moment you decide that you need to start a fitness studio, you need to identify your brand and start promoting. Promotion, advertising, marketing is only going to help you a big way in making profit in the business. Anything else regarding the business plan?
Talking about plan, I would like to add one more thing in there. What I would say is, any business, when you start a business, there should be something called exit plan. It doesn't mean anything negative. You just talk to any good businessman and they'll tell you that any business has to have a plan as to when the person has to quit. You can either quit. Say, for example, you're going to start a business. You just take that in 1 or 1.5 years, I should break even and get all my costs. And in 2 years, I'll start making profit. From the 3rd year on, it will be superflows. And then from the 4th year, you should expand the business. 4th and 5th year. So by the end of the 5th year, you will say that I'm ready to make it twice as big or thrice as big, or perhaps hand it over to someone else and move ahead and do another business. That is called an exit plan. So any business has to have a proper exit plan. There are only very few people who have started a business and they continue it for 60 years, 70 years, 80 years. If you want to be like that, still fine. You have to plan when you need to expand, do everything and ensure that month on month, week on week or day on day, every target is met and your business keeps progressing the way you want it to progress. That is another important part of planning which I would like to add.
Having discussed about all this, the business plan, we have a set of procedures. We have to follow certain procedures and we need to apply for some licenses when you're going to start a fitness studio. The first and foremost is the police license. Before they have a form, so you need to get the form, you need to fill up the application forms and you need to get a license from the police. There is a corporation license also involved. But there are certain areas where the corporation officers are very strict and particular that you need to get a corporation license as well, but that is not mandatory, but it's always on the safer side that you get a corporation licensing done. And in case the building where you're hiring or the building where you're starting up your gym. In case it is a residential area, then you need to contact the property tax people. Like again, the property tax has to be converted into commercial tax. Similarly, with the EB also, EB has to be converted to a commercial thing. See, why I'm saying all this is because we underwent all this. No one was there to guide us in all this, and at every stage we had trouble. We fought and we came out of it. So I do not want all of you to undergo all those troubles. So please make sure that you hire a commercial space, or if it's a residential place, take all the necessary steps to, because you want to put a name board. Obviously, when you start a fitness studio, you will have a name board. So once you set up a name board, then it becomes a commercial setup. So property tax and your EB, you need to check with them. And when it comes to EB, you wouldn't believe, I ended up paying almost 1.5 lakh, 2 lakh penalty. There was no one to tell us why we were paying this penalty then. So we didn't know why we were paying this penalty, and we didn't know how to avoid this penalty. We really had to go office from office, and we went to the very high level in EB department. We had a source, someone who referred to contact a person who would help us in the EB department. Then finally he said, there is something where you purchase watts. This itself is new to me because the consumption of EB is going to be high, because if it's an air conditioned fitness studio, the consumption of electricity is going to be high, and they have a limit. And again, this depends on the area and on the building where you're hiring, where you're starting your gym. So depending on that area, please go talk to the AE of the concerned EB department and get it clarified whether you have to purchase any watts. And in case you're purchasing any watts, you need to install something called a power factor capacitor. It costs somewhere around 50,000. That power factor capacitor, what it does mainly is it controls the fluctuations. There will be fluctuations, and when there are more fluctuation, again they have a point 1, 0.8 to 2, some they have a calculation in that as well. So when your fluctuation crosses that, you have been charged penalty. My EB bill was 50,000, my penalty was 60,000, 70,000, and I ended up paying 1.2 lakh of penalty every month. Then we got that sorted out, but it took almost 6 months for me to identify what it was and get sorted out. So now I'm now that I have undergone all that, I do not want all of you to undergo the same hassle. So please contact the AE of the concerned area where you are setting up your gym and get things clarified. Find out whether you need to install a power factor capacitor. Identify the watts of the consumption, what your consumption is going to be. Based on all that, get this clarified. Then in case you want to employ more than 10, the number of staff you want to employ is more than 10, then you need to check with the labor officers. There is a welfare association, labor welfare association. You need to check with them regarding the rules and regulations of how to go about. And your GST is definitely a must, and it helps you big time. So get your GST done. If you have a proper auditor, definitely you need an auditor, because all your accounting should be perfect. Your IT returns should be filed year after year. So you need a proper auditor right from day one to work on your project report and all that. So in case you're starting it as a proprietorship concern, then GST is only going to help you in opening current accounts and all that. Else, if it's going to be a partnership association, then you can register the partnership deed. You can enter into an agreement with your partner, get it registered, because registering your partnership deed helps you big time. So get that registered. Apart from this, there aren't any major procedures. You definitely need a fire extinguisher system. Again, there are various categories in that. Contact a proper fire extinguisher person and get a fire extinguisher system also installed. And CCTV is also a must. When you go for the police license, they insist that you have CCTVs. So CCTV is also a must. So all this, when you work on the budgeting, your CCTV costs. CCTV just not for namesake, just in the entrance alone. In all the prime locations inside the floor, CCTV is a must. So apart from all these, there aren't any big licenses or any other major procedures involved. All these do involve some physical work. Other than that, there aren't big hassles in getting all these licenses and registrations done. You need to identify a proper person who will help you do that, or you can directly approach the local police station. I would say directly approaching would be better because you can have a good rapport with the local police station, local police people. Police are always our friends. Policemen are always our friends, so they help us big time. So it's always better that you have a good rapport with the local police station and get the licensing done. So that is all. There isn't much about the licenses and other procedures.
That's quite some work and looks kind of intimidating. Okay, but you have made it sound so simple. Okay, now also tell them about the cost of opening a gym, or exactly how much they need to shell out or pump in, and also tell them about the current trends. You might have seen a lot of things, or how we started from 2006 to 2018 and how it's likely to progress. I think it would be better if you tell them even something about it.
Yeah, sure. So when we talk about the costing, we need to identify what is the amount you're willing to pump in the business. Once you decide on that, if it's a very low budget project, then probably you need to identify how much you're going to invest on equipment and how much on the interiors. Interiors, I would say, keep it very simple, keep it at bare minimum. Then AC, your ACs are going to take a big chunk of your investment, believe me. In today's scenario, in today's trend, I don't think opening a non-AC gym would be very a profitable one or a very sensible proposal. Again, it depends. In case you are from Ooty, or you are from Kodai, or you are from some hill station, then yes, you can avoid air conditioned facility. Or in case you have a very beautiful place which keeps the interiors cool, yes. But if it's a proper concrete building, on a commercial building, then AC will be a must. So ACs, again, there are three categories: split, cassette unit and a duct unit. So you need to identify, again, it all depends on the space. If it's a very small space, if it's room types, you have small rooms, in case if it's of that type, then you can go for a split. Cassette unit, the installation charges are really going to be very high. So you need to work on why you need to go on a cassette unit, or why you need to go with a cassette unit. Else you have the option of going with a duct. So ACs are going to take a reasonable, you'll have to have a separate allocation for ACs. As far as the equipment are concerned, for cardio, in case you want to have a cardio section, I feel again that is a must. Because when we started our old previous gym back in 2006, we didn't have any treadmills at all. Do you believe me? We didn't have any treadmills, and we were against motorized treadmills. We said, why don't you walk on a manual treadmill, or why don't you cycle? Today, so to summarize all that, I think I've given you all the inputs on how to go about and starting a gym. Else we are always there. See, it's not that you need to come to us personally, meet us personally. We do online coaching for clients as well. We help. There are a lot of people all over the country, and a few in Malaysia, Sri Lanka and Singapore who are taking our guidance in staying healthy. Like we train them, we give them workout routines and diet routines, and we will also guide you as to how to set up a proper gym. You come with a budget, you tell us this is your budget. We will help you identify these sources, because we have been in the industry for 20 plus years. We have good contacts with equipment dealers or with all the dealers, so we can connect you to the right people. Because there are people in the industry, once they get an idea that you are starting a gym, or you are starting a business and you have the money, there are a whole lot of crowd who are waiting to exploit you. I wouldn't say they'll give you a raw deal, but see, it is like something which you could have finished in 5 lakh, you would end up spending in 10 lakh, which is not required. So we will give you we are always there to help people, because we have been mentoring a lot of people to set up the gyms, to start a personal training studio as well. And we are also taking classes, we are also educating people, we are also doing certifications. So we will give you a complete assistance as to how to go about. Thanks for your time. All the best.